What is up? No, Mike. What is up, YouTube? What is up? What the fuck is up? Welcome back. We've got a sick strategy video for you. We're gonna break down how to build a personal brand using the strategies that I've used for myself, and we're gonna start from day 0. I'm gonna literally walk you through this. You should be able to go apply this when this video is done and walk away with a pretty substantial personal brand, I would say. Not a lot of fluff, not a lot of bullshit, not a lot of, oh yeah, man, that was like kind of unique, but here's a course that I'm gonna sell you in the end of this. I don't have a course and I never will. Okay, I might, but I don't have a course to sell you, which is the best part. So you can get that out of your head right now. But I'm gonna literally walk you through this. I'm gonna walk you through step-by-step how I'd build a personal brand right now if I had to start all over, right? If I had to restart from day 1, as they say. But let's do it, let's dive in. Step 1, the number 1 piece of advice I give people when they come to me and they're like, hey, I wanna build a personal brand. This is what I'm looking to do. I say, what are you passionate about? And is that something that you could see yourself doing forever? Like for me, it's making videos, making content, building brands, talking about marketing, all these different things, right? When you start asking me, for example, if you found me in a bar, you'd be like, holy shit, that dude will not shut up about fucking random marketing strategies he has read about, seen online, or some new crazy brand that's crushing it right now on social. These are all things that I realized that I was super passionate about. And I don't want to beat this point to death, but the whole point of this is people need to see your passion, and one that allows you to create longer, it makes you relatable, and people really fuck with it. Bring something new to the table. And I don't mean you need like some fucking revolutionary idea, because you don't. What I'm saying though is come to social media prepared to teach, educate, or inspire and actually motivate people. And I think that that is the first thing that you have to understand, or else you're just gonna spin your wheels. You're just gonna be making noise. You can't just come to social media sounding like everyone else, blending in. You really can't. And I think that passion is the way to kind of go around that. So the main thing here is I found a skill set that I had, and I said, I'm going to teach as much as humanly possible about that skill set, regardless of views, regardless of followers, regardless of anything. I literally approached social media with an abundance mindset. That was basically step 1. All right, so number 2 here is, I've already kind of hinted at this, but you've got to be a challenger. You've got to assert yourself in spaces that you typically wouldn't assume. I looked at everybody in my space, and this is something I learned while being an editor with Hermosi's team, was you've got to come at people that are bigger than you, and you've got to associate yourself with the biggest sharks in the ocean. So the first video I did that really clicked, I looked up all the social media gurus and just listened to a bunch of what they were saying. And half of it's just generic bullshit designed to sell you a course. And I was like, okay, great. My new angle is take the skill set that I have of being good at creating content and marketing, and I'm gonna attack what they're saying and just say it's downright fucking wrong.
In 30 seconds with proof, I'm gonna show you how Alex Earl is taking over TikTok and how you can do the same.
I'm just gonna keep 100 with you because nobody wants to fucking do it on this app. Whatever this bro is talking about is completely irrelevant. There is nothing that you can do that is going to recreate this girl's growth.
And this absolutely crushed. So that was kind of my first awakening of, okay, cool. If you come to social media and you basically say what everyone else is thinking, which is a strategy, that shit fucking works. Come correct on social media with something that is inherently fucking unique and different. Do not just blend in. Do not just recite other people's scripts hoping to get through it. Like literally actually internalize and find what you're passionate about and start from there, right? Because you're gonna be able to talk about that forever. You're gonna be able to come at other people's information that might be wrong about it because you know more about it. And so seriously, this is not a point to overlook. I know that was a lot, but that truly, you cannot skip that. I guess you could say this is 0.2.5 or something. There's so much shit out there right now that is just designed to sell you a course that you're not really gonna get any value from. And what I actually think has happened is that has opened up a unique opportunity for realistic creators, authenticity to really fucking shine through, because people can really decipher now between who's selling a course and who's not. And again, people are literally so hungry for the people that aren't, that has become a part of my marketing strategy, is to literally be the opposite of what all these gurus are. If everybody's posting the same fucking content, they're all going to I am going to Dubai, but if they're all going to Dubai and filming a bunch of bullshit, filming their Rolexes, filming their Lambos, filming their lives, it's like, okay, great, but where's the people that aren't doing that make you feel more relatable, make you feel more approachable, right? So I'm not saying that flexing's bad or anything like that. And I might be getting off topic here, but truly like being relatable, being real, being unafraid to fuck up, being unafraid to challenge other people that are bigger than you. These are all things that I would start with again when it comes to building that personal brand, right? I've literally done it from the beginning. I have not shied away from that. So number 3 in here is actually going to be taking that skill set that you have, right? And it's like, okay, how do I translate this into content that people are going to save and they're going to share? If you do look at my metrics on any of my content right now, especially carousels, the number one thing that you'll notice is the saves, bookmarks or whatever, they're extremely high related to likes. That means people are favoriting it for later, which carousels are a hack, and we'll get into that later. But really what I learned, especially from editing with Hermosi's team, was this. You have to give tangible value. I need to be able to watch your video and literally be able to walk out the front door and be like, holy shit, I can go execute exactly what Dimitri just said, and it is going to help me dramatically. You do not want to talk about concepts. You do not want to just give overarching ideas of things. You literally want to get down to the nitty gritty. So for example, if I was going to say something like this, right? I make videos that have tangible value in them. And this is the strategy that you need to be approaching. Well, I could go 3 steps deeper than that. And I could literally say, here's how to build a content strategy for a restaurant that is struggling and doesn't have a creator and doesn't have somebody that wants to be in front of the camera. That's pretty direct. And then under that, I'm not just going to give like generic advice. I'm literally going to build out exactly what it is. You have to think of content like this. You have to think of it as like blueprints and like micro playbooks, or just something again that is in like a list format. If you look at every single one of my videos, especially this broad, narrow niche one, this is a perfect example of how I script my content to give you tangible value. That video was literally the blueprint for this. So I had my hook, which is basically everybody wants to make content, but nobody wants to script it. And then I go direct into, okay, so if you're gonna script content, here's how I would do it. I would start with a very broad hook and then narrow down my video down to basically the bottom of the funnel here. By the end of it, you're like, oh shit, I could actually be a fan of this Dimitri guy, and I'm gonna follow him and I'm gonna stick along. That video one went viral. It follows that format, and this strategy, what I'm telling you, just directly fucking works. Create tangible value, give away everything. Do not gatekeep shit, do not hide it, because here's the thing, 99% of people that you give information to are not going to fucking use it anyway. And if you do give them the most insane sauce ever, they're probably not gonna be like, you know what, I think I'm just gonna go do this on my own. They might, but you'll get that percentage of people that do, which is fine, great. They're still gonna credit you for it, and they're gonna be like, damn, I learned that from Dimitri, that was sick. Or they're gonna reach out and be like, you know what, I really like what you said in this, and this video. How can you help me further? What would it look like if we worked together? How would you help me build my coaching company that's low-key failing, right? So things like this. These are all things you want to think about. And this is obviously how to turn a personal brand into a business and things like that. And this gets deeper because I'm not really out here just trying to coach people on like, here's how to go viral. Here's how to do this. Like my strategy is get on social media with a skill, monetize that skill by giving away insane amounts of value, show exactly you know what the fuck you're talking about with your own case studies, breaking down other brands that work, breaking down other stuff that works, and then have people reach out to you inbound, which is purely organic. I have not run a single ad in my entire life, and yet this business is doing well over $500,000, and that is a fact. So don't discount organic. Please do not discount. So all the value that I'm giving you right now is exactly what I do on a daily basis. So anyway, let me just gloss over that real quick. But the main point here is I always look at this through a business lens. I'm not just posting to post. I guess that's what I'm saying. All right, and please forgive me because I do have to pay the bills right now, but check this out. So ARTLIST actually just released a tool that at first I was skeptical about, but I will say I think there might be a purpose for AI when it comes to creating content. So take a look at this. So in essence, I was crafting actually another video for another brand, and I was struggling to find a specific B-roll clip. I was talking about how brands can create 2,400 ads in a year, and I was like, what's a great way to visually represent this? And I was thinking of like how there's these like mood boards where it's like somebody looking at a wall and it's got like a million photographs on it. And I was like, it'd be really sick if I could do that. And instead of filming myself, why don't I just AI this? Because ARTLIST now allows you to do text to video. So basically how this looks is you type in a really sick prompt, something creative and cool, kind of like this. And then what it does is it spits out something that looks like this. And then what you do is you can animate this. You can choose between 5 seconds and 10 seconds. And you can also choose different formats. So for example, like you do landscape for YouTube B-roll, and you can also do just regular, you know, your social media cut, which is really cool. I didn't think I would ever actually use it, but realistically, it's
pretty fucking sick. And the fact that it can help me close those gaps that I'm missing when it comes to my creative process. Because before I really would go search on YouTube and be like, find me a clip of dude standing in front of a wall of Polaroids, right? And you'd have to go find this yourself. Instead of just wasting that time, you literally just type it in, and I can see how this can be super effective. There's also like a lot of different templates that you can also use that I think you can get really creative with. I talked about this in my short form video, but basically anything when it comes to mood boarding and storytelling and planning something out for a campaign or project, super helpful. So don't sleep on this. If you want 2 months for free, click the link in this video. But without further ado, let's get back to the value because I had some more cool shit to talk about. So let's do it. All right, next point. I believe this is number 4. And if you're still with me, I fucking love you. Thank you. You are who I'm making this video for. Let me just say that. Next one, this concept that I talked about in point 3, this broad, narrow niche, this framework can not only be applied to scripting your content, but your content funnel for getting inbound and organic leads. Also, how you structure a content strategy. I'd want to create really broad content that appeals to the masses. So in my case, so let's actually, I guess I could use marketing as an example here. I could just tell stories about the best marketing going on right now. Right now, Aston Hall or whatever his name is going insanely viral on this morning routine, dunking his face in this Saratoga Springs water, whatever the fuck. I can make a video on that. That's probably going to go viral because it is very, very hot right now. It's a very hot button thing. Now, is that going to do anything for my bottom of funnel when I'm looking to get clients or anything? No, it's going to appeal to a lot of passerby people. Be like, oh yeah, he had an interesting take on that. It might work for the people that already follow me, but if I'm starting from, scratch or whatever, I don't want to make my entire brand just reacting to news and popping things that are happening in the industry. But that is one pillar of content you do want to start with because it's free fucking views. The first video I really had that kind of proved this to me was during the Drake AI ghostwriter leak. And I made a video on this and I said, is it this, is it that, or is it damn good marketing? Is it AI? Is it a leak? Or is it just damn good marketing?
I came in with my ex like Selena, the flex, bumping Justin Bieber, the fever and left.
And that crushed. That video did super well, is very direct, and honestly, like the value inside of it wasn't even that good. It was basically like brands that are able to tap into marketing that's creative just like this are gonna do really well moving forward in the next couple of years. And so that was really all I said, and that video ended up doing like 50,000 views on TikTok, and I think it provided me like maybe 500 followers or something, and I was like, holy shit, that's really sick. But I do think the way that I made that video was pretty creative. It wasn't me just like green screening the video, which low-key brings me to my next points, right? So you have this top of funnel awareness content, and you have this middle of funnel, which is basically like, where's your expertise lie? Like, how are you convincing these people that they need to either work with you or, be coached by you or buy a painting from you, or what is it, right? So what's that middle chunk? Here's what I would do. Any business, no matter how boring it is, if you are passionate enough about that business and you talk about it and give strategy and literally educate even to people that may or may not want to be educated to buy it or about it, that is your middle of funnel strategy. Because like, for example, right now, if there was a pottery company, for example, my girlfriend, her sister makes pottery, and I'm like, dude, this stuff is so fucking cool. Like, how do you do the little lines and things and whatever? Like, how do you do all that, right? Inherently, that stuff is just really interesting, but most people think it's not because they touch it every day or this, that, and the other. Well, that type of content or explaining that and showcasing this is a genius content strategy. And that's just like kind of your middle of funnel. So like even in my case, right, whether it's client results or just, maybe breaking down like good marketing strategy and then tying in a couple of brands that do it really well. And then maybe adding in a component of how I would do it better or how I would change it or modify it or whatever. Those are the things that I'm looking for in my middle of funnel, which again is just your broad, narrow niche, but then top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom funnel content. I know this point is going on very long, but this is exactly how I build my content strategy. And point number 5 is going to be the layers of effort that go into creating content. The last thing I'll say is your bottom of funnel here, you're convincing how I would do something. That is your content strategy. If I was running that social for my girlfriend's sister, I would have her start a series that is, here's how I'd make a pottery or a piece of pottery that belongs in the London Museum of Fine Pottery Art. And then I would just walk through it, right? And then I would say some shit like that. And then I would literally detail out from start to finish how I would actually do it. I would use some crazy text hook like that, get everybody's attention, and then narrow it down into like fine detail of what it is I'm doing, and hopefully inspire people that are potentially buyers of that type of stuff, right? Do that enough, eventually this is going to click and it's going to work and it's going to sell your art. It's going to sell your product. And that's what I do. If you look at my content strategy, it's here's how I'd market, or technically that's kind of the idea that I attack. But my main bread and butter right now is good product, terrible marketing. Terrible marketing, good product. You switch it around however you want. Or is it this, is it that, or is it damn good marketing? And then I'm going to inject my own opinion in there. And I'm going to say, if I was marketing for X company, here's what I would do. If I was building a car for Tesla, here's what I would do. If I was cleaning the car of a billionaire, here's what I would do, right? So now your car detailing service can have a content strategy. Literally, this stuff is fucking like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's how I'd build a laptop that's better than Apple if I was building a tech company. Or here's how I'd build a better language app for Duolingo. Explain that stuff, because again, people want to know what your level of expertise is and they want to see that. All right, so point number 5 is going to be this. You need to make sure that you're balancing your level of effort in your content. And so what this is going to look like is, think of it as a 3-tier approach. Really high produced cinematic type of content, stuff that I make all the time, but I blend it and mix it in with stuff that's pretty easy to make. And then at the bottom level here, I have really low effort content that doesn't take me very long. I can whip it out really quickly and just get something out in the meantime. So if we look at this on like a tier level, so tier 1, your highest produced content, it's gonna be my strategy videos. So if I'm giving really good value, or I'm making sure that I wanna have like the most, I guess, potential for a strategy to go viral, I'm gonna shoot it the way that I normally do. I'm gonna script it. I'm gonna make sure that every single shot is different. I'm moving my camera around a lot. I'm gonna utilize the space that I have quite a bit, and things like that. So that's gonna be high effort. It's gonna take me a while to edit. It's gonna have some sound effects. It's gonna have some really cool text effects in there too, and stuff like that. So all of that is gonna be brought to you by using shit like Motion Arrays Asset Library, right? Like, I'm really gonna highly edit this, even though it's not gonna feel that way. I am gonna do that. In the middle here, I'm probably gonna do more green screen content, right? It's me talking about, how I'd build a strategy for X company, or this company has really good marketing, but here's how I do it better, right? So that's gonna be my middle of funnel, and also like my middle effort type of content. It's not that hard for me to make. I can probably script that out and then just literally film myself, green screen it, throw some B-roll in the background, make sure that I don't spend too much time on that, and then boom, there you go. The last piece would probably be, honestly, really low effort, which would literally be a video of me like sitting here pretend yapping maybe or something, and then just use a text hook and then say POV when people realize you only need to spend 30 seconds making a piece of content, and include that in your content strategy at the low effort level. And that still might do really well, right? Because if you do look at things, right, I look at view numbers a lot. I don't overthink about them, but there have been videos that I've made that I put a ton of effort into, hours and hours and hours, probably 10, 20 hours. Those videos have done like 3,000 views, and I'm not gonna sit over here and be a bitch and be like, well, it didn't work, I'm never gonna do that again. I'm just gonna be like, wow, I could also do low effort content to balance that out that's also gonna get 3,000 views. So the POV, just one take kind of content, works super well. I would definitely build that into your content strategy. Text hooks are just amazing, and that's where you need really good copywriting skills, because you write a good enough text hook, that video is gonna go viral no matter really what you're doing in it. And I think that's a really interesting point. So that's how I build a actual just like effort level into your content strategy. So you obviously have your, top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom funnel, but then inside of that somewhere is also going to be your high level effort, medium level effort, and bottom level effort. The other piece here is you should also be making content that is not designed to go viral. It should be designed to target your ideal client. So that could be something that is like a super fucking niche topic in whatever you're really passionate about or skilled on, and talking about that and then making maybe 3 videos of that, making micro series on that. For me, it could be like how shoe stores can do an excellent job of guerrilla marketing and make that a mini series, right? Well, if my target was really like shoe stores, eventually somebody's gonna see that, and then that's a client right there, right? If I give it a good enough strategy, explain how well I could do that or whatever it is. The smart way to do this, though, would be to target big industries. So, for example, I would make a series, and this is actually a good fucking idea. I would make a series and say, here's how lawyers should be approaching social media if they want to gain clients and actually make a difference in whatever space it is that they're in. Do like a micro series of that, which is genius because lawyers obviously have the capital to bring somebody in, basically create all their content for them. All they have to do is show up. And again, the law space isn't really, there's nobody really coaching about it, or you still have to go to law school, right? What if there's a lawyer that can teach you like, you know, the basic practices or maybe real world applications for people that are done with law school stuff, right? And so like it's an extra guide or resource, but like that's how I think about this stuff is like, it always comes back to point one, right? How much value can I actually give? How much detail and how much passion can I throw behind what it is I do for a living? And then attract clients that way. I'm going to cut the video there because there's a million different things I could talk about. But for now, that is the places I would start. And that is exactly how I'd build something brand new. And I could do this for literally any fucking industry. It doesn't matter. If I was making tables, I could come up with a better content strategy than 90% of you guys because yes, I've been doing it longer. Yes, I have fucking tenure. Yes, I've been doing this for like 10 years. The main thing is I don't overthink. I don't think like, oh man, nobody's going to care about this. Nobody wants to listen to what I have to say. Nobody wants to listen to what you have to say if you're just going to say the same thing as everyone else, right? If you're a table company, you go copy someone else's social media strategy. Well, like that doesn't do anything. Where's the heritage of your like table making ability? I don't know. You probably learned it from your fucking grandfather or something, right? Talk about that. And that becomes a part of your strategy, right? And that gets built into it. So, anyway, this was definitely chaotic and a little bit all over the place, as my videos typically are. But you know what? This should show you right here is commit to the fucking process. I have limited time. I have a beautiful location to film this video in. And so I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to set up. I'm going to grind out. I'm just going to commit. I'm just going to do it. Because that is also part of the game. Consistency is the name of the game, right? And what does that actually mean? It means showing up when you don't want to, creating the content style that you know works repeatedly, even though that you're burned out of it. And things like that. Because most people are like, oh, I just got to fucking, I figured out what works and now I want to do something different, Dimitri. I don't want to do the series that got me fucking $100,000 last year. Come on now. Anyway. That's a whole different video. It really is. But I like you. I love you. Thank you for watching. Dimitri out. And yeah, we'll talk very soon. Hopefully this helped. Oh, before I go, just comment section me. Like, help me out here. I'm learning YouTube too. Look, I understand these videos could be just like my really high produced whatever, and I could really come up with some good scripted shit. But at the end of the day, I do just enjoy kind of thought dumping and journaling here because like, man, there's so much stuff that I feel like I don't get to say on like consult calls or I don't know, or like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say I need a podcast or something, but like it would be cool to just have these conversations more consistently. I feel like I do have a couple clients though that I'm able to kind of like thought dump with. Definitely it probably needs to be condensed a little bit and less scrambled, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. So comment if this is like a horrible structure or just if you need a little bit more structure, whatever, because then I can just start attacking different types of content strategy, right? I can still do this, which is just ranting off the brain dump, no notes. There's no notes on this fucking laptop right now. This thing isn't even on. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Hopefully that was super helpful. There's definitely some content on my social on this. So Instagram has this, TikTok also has this. So if you want some more detail, but I will definitely be going in more in depth on each of these. Expect a video on top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom funnel. Expect a video on scripting methods, especially broad, narrow, niche, and how to like really write out some stuff, maybe write out some examples or some shit like that. But yeah, that's it for now. Peace and love. You're the best. Go make something great. Talk soon.